Thank you, Professor Lugutko, for chairing today's session, and a welcome to everybody here in London to the ECR Autumn University. This week has given us a great opportunity to meet together to discuss some of the fundamental issues that are facing Europe and indeed the wider world. And I'm really, in particular, looking forward to this discussion this afternoon. For those of you who don't know, I am the coordinator on the International Trade Committee for the ECR Group. And it is my role, therefore, to have sort of an oversight over the EU's trade agenda. But most of my time currently is taken up by two of the current negotiations, and that is on the EU-US Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership Agreement, and also the Trade and Services Agreement, known as TTIP and TISA. Both of them have a huge consequence to the EU and the UK, and in particular, TTIP, as I will outline throughout the discussion, is really reflected in the increased size and importance of the International Trade Committee in the European Parliament, and also because the Parliament has been given, the International Trade Committee particularly, it has been given that oversight and also power to vote on future trade agreements as well. And that can be used, therefore, as a veto. And that was in the Lisbon Treaty in 2009. So we now have an increased role in making sure that we are putting this trade agenda at the front of EU priorities. But this comes at a really significant time, this debate, because here in the West, we are standing at a crossroads. To remain the focal point of a global political economy, a position that we have as the West sustained and maintained for many decades. We are now seeing the rise of Asian powers in economies, particularly led by China, and how we respond to that, as well as the rise of those BRICS countries and economies too, is going to govern our futures for the decades to come. And we really need to find a solution to this to make sure that we can still compete in that global marketplace as the UK and as the European Union. And it's fundamentally been changed, really, because the global international environment has been changed at the same time with global value-added supply chains, which has allowed everybody in every corner of the earth in order to trade and also to benefit from it. So at the time where we've seen this rise of the Asian economies and other economic powers around the world, the European economy has been sluggish at best, and the EU has not fared much better. So it is incredibly important now more than ever that the West's economies take action to remain relevant. And what better way to do that than to use a stimulant that costs very little, if in fact nothing, and that is the promotion of free and more open trade and the removal of those barriers. Now, for Europe, this has become even more important in recent weeks because we have actually seen the US sign a Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement, and that is with 12 Asian partners. And that is going to set a new standard for international free trade agreements around the world and could change the global economy as we know it. That deal alone represents 40% of the GDP and 1/3 of global trade. And we, unfortunately, in the EU have, if we do not raise our game when it comes to a trade agenda, we will be sidelined. We could be on the sidelines watching the rest of the world crack on and doing more trade deals and working and spreading that wealth amongst each other. And we do know that 90% of global growth in economies is going to be outside of the European Union in the next decade as things currently stand. So how we are going to respond to that, how we are making sure that we can push the European trade agenda, how we can make sure we're linking the world's largest trading bloc with the world's largest economy is going to be hugely important as we move forward. It is of great value to us and we desperately need it right now. So that is my opening comments that I will leave with you, and I'm very much looking forward to how we can ensure that we can, through a unity of the West, make sure that we do maintain our position at the top of the global economic challenges ahead. Thank you.